breakfast this morning.
Samples
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And he was getting mad over all the contractors coming in that were just decked out in 511 gear.
Why? Oh, because he's like, I'm competing with you guys now?
No.
Is it kind of like that guy that Caden was saying, that he's like he'd like ask people, is this place dangerous? And they'd be like, yeah.
And they'd go there on purpose, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, this place looks nice.
Yeah, that's when we sent supplies to the people on the Thai-Burma border, the Karen.
Check out this view of Medellin. Where are we right now?
Don't remember.
I think we're in
Santa Fe Mall.
Santa Fe Mall in the Candelaria.
Yep, the Candelaria.
So we came all the way out to this mall that's not really a mall, so I think we're gonna check out this neighborhood a little bit. Interesting. Los Angeles here. This is the real part of Medellin, not just the tourist part. So it's like a jungle in the middle of the city. Man, and it's like more city, and you have a subway. It's like New York, but in the jungle. All right, we got some kind of flower parade here. And then there's like this guy over here with like a microphone advertising his avocados. Avocados. Flower parade.
Ya a nuestra tarima principal de este gran evento. Vamos a recibirlos con un fuerte.
The military parade.
So that is a school uniform. That is a girl's school uniform. And like the girl in the corner over there. That is cool.
Oh wow, this is a school uniform. This is a net and it's right over a waterfall and I'm about to jump in it. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. So there's actually like cement right underneath me. So I'm gonna try and be as loud as possible to combat the sound of this loud waterfall. Hold on, 1 second. Woo! Okay, so I was still religious when I joined into politics, and the political views, some of them aligned with my personal religious views, and some of them were actually like whatever. But usually what I notice when people go off the derech, when people leave the Orthodox community, is they usually tend to become, to go towards the left, because the political left in the United States, at least, the political left is usually more socially liberal than the political right. So usually what happens is people will join the American left wing when they go off the derech, because they're trying to get away from the conservative religious stuff, right? So they usually end up going to the left. So most off the derech groups, like Facebook groups, or off the derech, like, organizations that I've heard of, at least, the ones that I've heard of, usually tend to be left-wing. Personally, that has not happened with me, because as soon as I went off the derech, I ended up joining like a political right-wing conservative sort of movement. So because I was so religious when I moved it, when I joined it. So I never had like and I actually had, part of me kind of almost would have done that if I hadn't joined the conservative political movement. I would have probably went off the derech and joined the left, the political left. I would be trying to get away from the religious stuff. But personally, I'm really glad that I stayed, that I was caught by the conservative movement, and now I'm like, obviously I'm not socially conservative, and I don't really care what people do with their bodies, and I don't really care about any of that stuff. I have some ideas about, that might align with conservatives more. I have some ideas that might align with leftist more, but I feel like it's too binary for me because it's too like one way. You know, there isn't a lot of nuance in American politics, and that's part of the reason why I'm not in the US right now, because I'm like trying to get away from all of it, and I'm in beautiful Colombia, but I'm kind of glad that I ended up, at least for economical reasons, for freedom reasons, I'm glad that I ended up on the conservative side of things. Also, like, I don't want to say conservative because it's so binary in American culture, but at least when it comes to like being freedom-minded, being entrepreneurial, being like independent-minded, I'm glad I ended up on that side of things. And you know what? The American right conservatives aren't actually all that either. Like, there's some conservatives on the American right that will talk about like freedom and, you know, being responsible for yourself, being fiscally responsible, you know, taking care of yourself, you know, making sure that everybody has their sense of self and their personal boundaries respected and their sense of individuality and all that stuff. Like, there are some people like that on the right, but more and more I'm noticing that the American right is kind of like, it's a mix, and so I don't want to say the right or the left. And I don't want to be bound to that because, like, I love, you know, individuality. I love being creative. I love, like, freedom. And I love entrepreneurship. Being entrepreneurial and creative is the reason why I'm able to have this life. My God, I hate this. Like, I feel like my hair is so... Oh. All right. So maybe you'll notice my gray hair is a little less. But, yeah, so I like those things. I like, you know, I like also, there's some things I love about being conservative. Conservatives tend to be a little more aware of reality. This is a plant. This is the color pink. This is like pinkish reddish. This isn't blue. You know, like, conservatives are more willing to address and like acknowledge reality for what it is. They tend to be a little more blunt, and I feel like the American left isn't really willing to do that. The American left is so relativistic and so in the clouds that they're willing to like blatantly lie to themselves, you know, just to be like empathetic. They're gonna lie about shit. They're gonna like totally blind themselves and everybody else to like actual science and like the reality of the world. And they tend to be right now a little very susceptible to brainwash. They tend to be a little culty right now, becoming fat and developing a bunch of health issues and like becoming sterile and things that I don't want. And being poor is a big one. Being poor, not having a financial sense of survival. Like, so all those things make me really glad that I didn't get sucked into the left. But because a lot of ex-Orthodox Jews, a lot of people that are trying to get away, and in general, ex-religious people, a lot of people, when they try to get away from religion, the people that are most open to them tend to be people on the left, because the left is very anti-religion. But they don't realize that the left is like also a religion in itself. I mean, honestly, any political group right now in the US or anywhere actually, any political group that is very political is going to be very religious. You're just not going to realize it because they're going to tell you that they're anti-religious. But it's all religion. There's no nuance. It's all like a flat, like, here's a list of what you should believe. You need to like go along with what we say. It's all the same shit, different toilet. So a lot of people, I see a lot of off the derech people, a lot of ex-religious people, I notice will fall into the trap of joining the left because it says that they're anti-religious. I'm not saying that you should join the right either, because the right is obviously also tends to be very religious, but like, definitely don't join the left. It's deceptive. It's deceptive, and they'll suck you into this lifestyle and culture of like being sterile, being unhealthy and fat, being enslaved financially. Why do you want that shit? You don't want that. You don't want that in your life. You want to be free. You want to make money. You want to like have a good life. You want to employ people. You want people to work for you. You want people to be happy. Maybe you want to have kids. You don't have to, but you want to be able to. You want to be healthy enough for that if you want to. You know what I mean? And like the left is not good for that at all. So like, yeah, I noticed this a lot. Like it's very common. People go off the derech to like immediately, and I was totally gonna do that if I didn't join if the conservative American conservative right didn't offer me a bunch of jobs and I didn't get sucked into like right-wing American politics, I would have totally joined the left. I would have totally joined it, because those are the people that are like, come to us. We love anti-religion. We love off the derech Jews. We love ex-Orthodox people. We're gonna take care of you and accept you because we're so liberal and so accepting. Ha! And they would suck you in. And I'm so glad that didn't happen to me, dog. Like, so glad. You don't have to join the right. You don't have to be a conservative either. You don't have to join any politics. You can F off to Colombia or to Bali or to any paradise in the world. You can have your own lifestyle. You can forget about politics. Politics is so bad for you because politics is just like religion, but worse. It's worse because it involves governmental control and it'll seep into your life by force. Religion, at least you can run away. You can run away from Orthodox Judaism. Maybe it feels like you can't. As long as you become in control of your mind, you can leave. You can't run away from the government. They can put you in jail. You know what I mean? Like, you can't run away from the government. Don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into politics. If you leave the Orthodox Jewish community, or if you leave any religious community and you're looking for like a haven of people to accept you, don't make it politics, please. Like, because it's not worth it. You don't want the feds coming after you because you've been caught up in some extremist ideology shit. You don't want that. Make money. That's what you should focus on. Make money. Become healthy. Focus on do yoga. Focus on your lifestyle, your breathing. Like, focus on becoming a healthy person. Focus on becoming in control of yourself. Focus on finding love, finding people that care about you and respect you as a person. Don't fall into the trap of another religious ideology that like disguises itself as love. Don't do that. Anyway, yeah, that's my video for today, and I hope the waterfall in the background isn't too loud, and I will see you guys in the next video.